Great day in the morning. Great games in the morning. This is Jonathan Albin. I'm messing with my camera here, trying to get rid of the glare on my glasses. So we'll try this over here. Great games in the morning. I'm Jonathan, and this is Session 0 Chronicles. And today we are going to be talking about how we do it. The NycosRPG mechanism has been rolled out, and we've talked about a bunch of different pieces of it, but we haven't talked about it in toto. So what today we're going to talk about is how in a game of our NycosRPG you handle any kind of dice rolling conflicts. So the first one we have to deal with is how to do a check, and a skills check is a percentage dice roll against your skill in particular, and the skills value will be the basis of the die roll, and the amount that roll determines the success fail on the sliding scale known as QDR, or quantum die roll. So for example, let us say we have a skill of a 30. We're going to pick up the dice here and we're going to roll it, and we're going to compare that die roll. Well, look, I got exactly 30 against a 30. Well, a number that is equal to or less than the score is a success. So 30 and below would be a success. But instead of having a singular option, quantum die rolling means that you have multiple options. So from that individual die roll, you will have a regular success, a wild success, a partial success, and a complete success, in addition to a failure. So a 31 and above would be a partial success as long as it doesn't exceed 60. So 31 to 60 would be a partial success. Anything above a 31 would be a fail. Above 61 would be a fail. Likewise, there is a chance for a better than average success, which is considered to be a wild success, and that would be 15 or lower. So as long as you get half of 30 is 15, would be the double down value, and therefore 15 or above up to 30 would be a partial success, and then it would be a normal success, and then from 15 down to the 0-1 would be a wild success. Then finally, if the number is exactly 0-1, then that is 1 out of 100, which is a perfect success. And that's how checks go. You just simply roll against the number and then determine what graduated level of success or failure you have. I don't know what to do with my glasses. The reflection on them is driving me crazy. The second option is to have contests. And a contest is when your die rolling is in comparison with someone else who's rolling on the same chart, for the concept of who has done the best or has gone the fastest or whatever, in which case you would again roll the percentage dice, and assuming again a skill of 30, each person would roll against their skill. So the first person rolls a 70, is that right? Yep, 70. So that's going to be a failure. And the other player would be rolling a 80, which is also a failure. So in that case, the contest is inconclusive because neither one of them was able to accomplish whatever the task was. Either they didn't finish the race, or they're not, they didn't run that far, or whatever. And so therefore the check would be made on the second turn and subsequent turns until one person succeeds and one person fails, or there's a relative success difference. So again, checking against the same 30 on the second roll, and they got a 19 and a 90. Well, in the case of the 19, in the case of the 19 succeeds and the other one fails, and therefore the contest is open and shut. One guy succeeded, one guy failed. A done deal. If they had both succeeded, then it would be the graduated level. Is it a partial success versus a full success? A partial success against a wild success, that kind of thing. Next are challenges, and challenges are when a person's action is opposed by somebody who's doing the counter action. So the idea of I'm trying to hide while another person is trying to find. Those are variant skills, and therefore it would be a challenge. Each person would roll against their relative skill, and success fail still applies. You have to have one success and one fail for the sequence to be completed, and otherwise the challenge continues. Then finally you have combat, and combat would be the same, only the differentiation between the two conveys a certain amount of fatigue. We'll go into that more when we talk about the combat sequence in specifics, but just realize that the combat sequence is fundamentally a challenge with additional steps. Then we talk about the three possibilities of ramps, and the ramps are die rolling mechanisms that we can use within the game to achieve certain objectives. And in a session 0, we have to go over all the parameters of what might or might not happen in the game. So in the case of a materials ramp, when you find something new that you have not had in your possession before, we do a ramp check to determine the quality of the item, and the ramp quality is modified by the rareness of that item in that environment. So if you're finding something that is common within a common zone, then the die roll is going to be a flat roll. If you're finding a rare item in a common zone, then it's going to be modified by the start point. And if it's a rare item found in a common, if it's a rare item found in a rare location, then you not only step up the ramp, but you step down the steps. So mechanically, what that means is that the die roll will be flat even in conditions where the material that you're looking for could be found in that environment already. It's esteemed to be available in that zone. And it only modifies the roll if the possibility of the item is much more rare. So, for example, let's say you have found a diamond ring in a pig trough. Well, the odds of you finding a king's ring or whatever in a pig trough is pretty small. So I would esteem that the die roll would be a check against a ramp of 55 and a step of 1. So you would roll the dice against that hope of finding it at the 55 on the off chance that you actually did drop the ring there. Well, we got a 54. So with the 54 against the 55, you succeed. So now your chance goes up that it might be improved from 55 to 56. And you roll again. And this is a 20-something, in which case you have a 56% chance. So then you would actually roll for the chance of finding that by rolling at the 56. And we roll a 50, and we did, lo and behold, find the ring that was lost in the pig trough. So this is how the die rolls merge together to come up with a way of finding things. Then breakthrough ramps is when you have successfully advanced in a skill until you've reached one of the upper tens values. So if you start at 29, you advance once, now you're at a 30, you have a chance to ramp and gain inspiration from your learning. And that breakthrough ramp means that at the end of the session, before you conclude for the day, the player who makes the ramp then tries to succeed at the improvement. So let's say you are at 29, you made it to 30 on the growth of the skill. So now you're rolling percentage dice against the 30 to see if you succeed in gaining inspiration. Well, we got a 94. That exceeds the 30, so therefore we have succeeded at the ramp. So now we're going for 35. And we roll a 90, so 90? Yes. So therefore now we're going for 35. And this advance theoretically could go quite a ways. That's up to 40, going for 40. That's over a 40, so now we're going for 45. That did not work. So we will have an advance from 30 to 45, literally meaning that you've had inspiration and you realize that you understood better than you thought you did about that skill, and now it's improved to 45. Then finally, a timing ramp is simply where the game master says you must reach X number of successes to accomplish the thing, whether that be trying to open a door or trying to pick a lock or whatever. He might say you get 3 rounds and it will open in 3 rounds, but you could get through faster if you beat the timing ramp on before that. And so you'd roll percentage dice against the ramp number, and if you beat it and then you beat the same number 3 times, then you have the successfully achieved the timing ramp. So these are the ways that dice are used in Nycos RPG, and this is something you would need to know from a session Chronicles, from a session 0, and therefore it's part of this series. If you like what you're seeing so far, make sure you like and subscribe, and if you don't, thank you for your time, and we will see you in the next video.